want to start your own business, not a lot of money is involved in the business ideas I will give you in this video. I'll, however, give you a cost estimate of how much it will take if you're actually pumping money to start the business. Most of these businesses you can start even if you do not have money. There are 7 ideas that I want to give you today. Watch till the end of this video because it's jam-packed with a lot of ideas. Let's get those credits rolling. Business number 1 requires you to have a sizable amount of followers, especially on Instagram, because the business is being a club promoter. If you're those who love to party like it's 1999, this would be the perfect business to get into. So the first thing that you need to do in order to start in this business is do a local search around where you stay, first of all, for a club that gets some traction on particular days. Then the first thing that you do is to slide into the DMs. Then rest is history. So tell them that you can help them with promoting their club all through the week, and you get a particular day which will be your day where you can bring in your friends to come and drink in that particular place, driving the sales up of that place, and they pay you a commission for the amount of business that you have brought in. That is the first way that you can get into this business. The second one is to do a theme around less busy nights, which can include things like karaoke, which can include things like quiz nights, which you introduce into that particular restaurant. Same idea, bringing people into the club and then making sure that these people have actually spent there because you're hosting a particular event that they would love to actually see. This way you make sure that they increase their sales on that day. You get paid on the business that you have brought in. You continue bringing in more business and it becomes known as the day that you have. The goal with this particular business is that you can be able to do this in several clubs, in several restaurants, where you can actually have Monday to Friday at different places, and you start making your money like that. The advice, of course, is save up that money, one day open your own venue. But then if you have a good following, once you are at the venue, what you need to do is share, go live, make sure that people are seeing online what you're doing at that particular club. That can even bring in more people, some who may just want to see you or be in your presence. That is just a good business that you can get into. It doesn't require you to spend a lot of money to get started. It requires you to be really aggressive, especially on your social media, to be a very outgoing person because you will be meeting new people every day, and don't be afraid to actually get yourself out there and look for these opportunities because so many clubs just want to have that extra edge, and having someone to host would actually be good for them. Business number 2 is arts and craft. Now, I think we dropped that subject, but this is how you can do this business. The one target market is for children who are on holiday. You maximize on that just to teach them art and craft. Because of the new competency-based curriculum, CBC, this would actually be something that parents would advocate for. So you charge a daily rate where they come in and they are taught how to paint. They come in and they make something beautiful for their parents, and their parents will love them and not feel bad about leaving them the whole day. So a craft business aimed at children, especially during the holiday, would be a good business to do. However, the second way to do this, and this is something that I've actually seen happening, is doing arts and crafts or doing crafts aimed at adults, where you have adults come in and you teach them the basics of how to do arts, and then each one of them does their own piece and they get to go with it at the end of the day. I will share a link in the description of a friend of mine who actually does this business and is doing really well and does, I think, monthly or every 2 months in a restaurant, and this is a good way of even bringing people into the restaurant around the event itself. People will still eat, people will pay to actually do the paint, the craft business, and this is a way you can actually make money if you are an artsy person. If you're a creative person, this is a good business that you can get into. Business number 3 has to do with resale. Now, if you find a buyer of a particular product and you have a seller of that particular product, if they are unable to find each other, they will need someone who does resale. And a good example of this is something that happened in the telco community some years back. Someone knew that the company was going to be sold, and he came in and bought the company. Then a few hours later, sold it to someone else and made money in between. So he knew that there was an interested seller, and he knew that there was an interested buyer, and that way he was able to actually capitalize on the fact that the buyer and seller were not aware of each other but bought the company. And then, because when you're buying a company, you will still need some time in order to actually give out the money, he went and looked for the seller, and the seller was ready to buy, and they actually bought, and he still made his money and was able to settle the bill. Now for you, because it may not be at that scale, this is how you can be able to do it. If you find that someone is selling a vehicle, for instance, the car has been up for sale for quite a while and they are not getting buyers, then you can agree with them that if you are able to help them sell and you can get them a buyer, then they will give you a commission. And you can even do the same on the buyer side. If you find a buyer who's really interested in buying and they do not know where they're going to get it and you do, then you can be able to come in and help them purchase. And once you help them purchase, they pay you a finder's commission. There are people who really do this well, especially with land, because you'll find that most of the land that is available, especially around urban areas, belongs to older people who may be in the rural areas. So since they know who the seller is and they find that there are buyers who are coming around, what they do is that they show you the place. They can even introduce you to the owner of the place. Once you make the purchase, you give them a commission if you're the seller, because they have actually helped you to dispose of that land. Sometimes they even ask for commissions or viewing fees from the buyers, and that's a way that you can be able to actually do this. So if you find that you can be able to connect buyer and seller and you're in the middle making it happen because you are adding value, then you charge a commission for that. Resale of items, resale of commodities, even resale of some services, you can actually make some good money there. Business number 4 is photography, which is something that I really am passionate about and actually do as a business. The way to get started in photography, you would actually do in 2 ways. One is to become a photo assistant. Here you are able to actually learn all the basics of business, get to learn how to market the business. Here you will also be exposed to very many clients. So the person who you're training under will help you to grow in the business. Then you need to save up to buy your first camera. If you have about 30,000 shillings, there are good options for cameras which I will place in the description below, which you can be able to buy either from Jumia or from Amazon in the US, and then you can ship them to Kenya. It's very easy to ship to Kenya. There are companies which help in that. I'll place a good recommendation as well in the description below. So once you have gotten your first camera, then the photos that you have been taking as an assistant can be able to help you get started to get your first jobs. So you talk with your family, you talk with your friends, especially with your friends. If they don't have money, you can do a quid pro quo where you get to do images of them, they get their images. All they need to do is say, these images were done by my friend, and they place your your Instagram link or your links to your other business. So once you do this, then you start creating a portfolio. The next thing that you need to do is start investing on good equipment, or if you cannot afford them at the moment, then you just hire them from other photographers, make use of them for a particular function, and then return them. You pay, of course, a small commission whenever you're hiring out equipment. But that's a good business to get into because the opportunities in photography are endless, and if you sit down with an established photographer, they'll be able to tell you which opportunities are there. The good thing with this business is that after a few years, you're able to start on your own. Many photographers do not stay as seconds or assistants in the businesses that they've gotten into. 3-4 years is enough, and you have been able to learn everything that you need to learn, and the rest you learn now as an entrepreneur. The next business is an errand business. Standing in line at KRA or taking a parcel from one end of the CBD to another can be quite a daunting task for so many SMEs, and they do not have that time to actually do all these things. This is where you come in. You start your own small business, which is your name errand business. Advertise on social media saying that you can be able to take parcels from one end of the city to the other, and you can do other errands, deliveries, such stuff. There you can start with your friends who have their own businesses, and you're helping them just to make their work easier. You can do dry cleaning, which is just picking things from the dry cleaner, taking them to the office, or vice versa. Someone can just send you to the dry cleaners. You can do lunches where you go and purchase lunch for someone and bring it to them. This helps you just to make some little money on the side. Of course, I know that there are companies which do this exclusively, but that does not mean that there is no space for you. The truth of the matter is that so many companies are in this, and still they have not cracked the whole market. So what you're making sure is that you are reliable for the people that you're getting in, and you're serving the clients that you already have, serving them well so that they can give you new business for the next day. The next business is a personal shopping business, and your main clients will be people who work their 9-to-5s. So same thing, any business that we mention here, it will be amplified by use of social media. So once you've said that you do this particular business where you can actually do grocery shopping for your clients, where you go to the supermarkets, they have given you a list, you make sure that you have bought all these things and given to them, then they pay you, if it's 50 shillings or 100 shillings for every single errand that you're running. It can be to get fruits, it can be to actually shop clothes for them. If you have a good fashion sense and you can be a good fashion stylist, you have their measurements, then you can be able to actually go out and make these purchases for them, because they do not have that time to actually go and spend. So someone who's working in the CBD, you can be able to actually get them things from a place like Isli. So when you go there, you purchase something for them. All you're doing when you're choosing these things, you can do photos on WhatsApp, and if they like it, you negotiate for them and then give it to them. Then they pay your transport, then they pay you for the errand. There is no excuse for not starting a business, because all these businesses that I'm telling you will not really require money to start, but they require you for you to be ingenious and to be creative about the way you run the business. Make sure that the customers that you're getting, you're actually giving them good service, because then they become repeat business. The next business is geared towards those who really love math, and it is bookkeeping. So many small businesses, the one thing that many of them do not like to do, and I'll tell you for free, is bookkeeping. Keeping books of accounts. So this can start as a part-time business, and you do not even have to leave your home. You start on your own computer or even on your phone. There are several accounting packages that you can use. There's one that I use which is free. It's called Wave, where you can actually be able to put all the transactions that you've had during the day, help a particular business make sure that all their journal entries are done. This helps the business to be able to know if it is still in profitability, and then they can be able to know if they have enough cash flow in the business. All this is geared towards helping other businesses. So the reason you're doing this part-time is that you can come in for 3-4 hours a week, pick all the receipts that are there for the business, look at the till number if it's there, look at the personal MPESA of the business owner, and all this you can be able to actually feed in into the bookkeeping program, and then it tells the business owner where they are. Of course, you need to get many more clients in order for this to become really profitable, and as you're going on, you can also look for other ways that you can help this business by making sure that they have good invoices customized to their own liking. All this is a way for you to actually start your own business. I have done a video that will help you understand what you can do if you just have 1,000 shillings and you want to start your business, and I'll put it right here so that you can be able to watch it. As always, innovate, create, grow. See you in the next one.